Meri embraced the harsh lights, even though they were intense. For years, she had not wanted to be noticed. Tonight, she did. This was the debut live reunion of Sister Wives on TLC. Meri sat by herself on the classy set, adorned with bare steel beams, spotless white floors, and glass panels from floor to ceiling, a deliberate duplication of openness. It was not merely a stylistic choice, it was a declaration. There was nowhere for the truth to be concealed. Meri sat straight in her chair, not stiff, but poised. It wasn't her attire that accorded her majesty, but the manner in which she held herself, dignity tempered through patient suffering and baptized in torment. She kept her eyes away from the cameras. She had no need to, they would approach her. Backstage, Kody was pacing, obviously angry. He was outraged that TLC had not let him approve the questions in advance. More infuriating to him was that Meri was allowed to have a live solo segment and had not told him what she was going to say. This was on purpose. She had turned down any pre-production feedback or rehearsals. When prompted by the network, Meri addressed the audience with calm resolve. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up because I'm not here to perform anymore. Kody's fists were clenched tightly. Robin sat a few feet away, in a comfortable chair, lips pursed into a thin line, face pale, hands folded neatly in her lap. She refused to admit the shaking she felt within her. The walls of their meticulously constructed facade were breaking down, and she was finding it difficult to exist within the kingdom they had constructed. The clock started. Quiet settled into both the green room and on stage. Sitting slightly forward of Meri was Talia Grant, the Emmy-winning host with a reputation for tough questioning and zero patience for pretension. You informed our producers that you were willing to say things you've never said, truths you've kept for a lot of years, Talia said. Meri's throat constricted, not out of fear, but seriousness. Slowly, she nodded. I'm not afraid anymore, she stated. Her words were plain but had titanic bearing. Talia nodded. What are you afraid of? Meri's eyes turned to the camera, speaking not to Talia or the viewers, but to the women sitting in their living rooms, cradling coffee cups and the burden of years of unarticulated pain. I'm afraid of Kody, his fury, his anger, his authority. I'm afraid of what he'll do if I cease to be the faithful wife, the problem wife, the scapegoat, the one who made the sacrifice to maintain appearances. There was a beat of silence in the room. Even the crew took its breath. Then Meri continued to speak, firm and unyielding. Kody is an egotistical human being, and I think we all felt this on a deep level. But since we were afraid of what would happen if we said it out loud, we tolerated it for years. Backstage, Kody exploded in rage. She's insane. That's libelous, he snarled, looking at Robin. She's trying to sabotage me. Shh, was Robin's response, face impassive, eyes on the screen. Meri refused to give in. She was just getting started. He gaslights by breaking someone down and labeling it love. He expects loyalty but gives none back. He interprets independence as disobedience and penalizes it by withdrawing his affections when he can no longer dominate you. Talia leaned forward. You are describing emotional abuse. Meri looked her straight in the eye without blinking. Yes, I am. Time seemed to freeze. Social media flooded with hashtags such as Kody Exposed, Meri Speaks, and Sister Wives truth-filling timelines. The producers shared worried glances, but did not make a move to switch off the feed. Meri went on, her voice shaking with deeply buried anguish. For years, I assumed that if I did absolutely everything right, he would love me again. But however hard I tried, unless I just disappeared, there wasn't any version of me that he could love. She broke off, her voice cracking. I vanished for a long time. The studio fell quiet again, not even a slightest shuffle of crew. It wasn't just powerful, it was holy, a woman shattering her silence in real time. Meri remembered one evening, her voice tinged with personal tone, when she came home alone after therapy. She had been crying in the car. Upon entering, Kody answered her with a sneer and said, "What now, Meri?" More drama. And in that instant she understood that he no longer regarded her as an individual. She was nothing but a nuisance and a mockery to him. She ground her jaw as she told him that she remained because she thought hurting was an indication of commitment, loyalty, and, really, because she was afraid. Backstage, Kody rushed toward the curtain but was stopped by a producer. "You will have your allotted time," the producer firmly reminded him. Kody gestured angrily toward the screen. "You're letting her say this. You're ruining my reputation." The producer calmly responded, "She is sharing her story." Meri sat up straighter than ever on camera. "I used to protect myself," she confessed, "but I also protected his ego. I'm ashamed of that, but I am proud that I escaped." Talia cocked her head and asked, "What happened?" Meri Grant smiled for the first time. A real smile, not a polite one. "Yes, I did," she replied. Clips were being widely shared online, even before the episode had finished. Her quotes were quoted in reaction videos by TikTok creators, and therapists, psychologists, and abuse survivors spoke out in support. The viewers were brought to tears, and Meri received thousands of messages from women who had gone through similar things. Christine posted a photo with a handwritten card that said, "We believe you, Meri." Janelle took a short video with her daughters, staring straight into the camera. "I saw it happen," she said. "Everyone did." Meanwhile, Kody's Arizona phone was filled to the brim with calls. Relatives, former friends, and local clergy couldn't ignore what had been broadcast. Later that night, he looked visibly distressed during a live Instagram stream, yelling, "This is a witch hunt. I gave up everything for this family. Now, these women have betrayed me." Comments poured in rapidly. "This ain't no mob, Kody. This is reality. Classic gaslighting. Control is all you love." Within minutes, Kody cut off the live stream. Meri reappeared in the public sphere, not as the first wife of a crumbling patriarch, but as a woman whose narrative was speaking broadly. She was a guest on CBS Mornings and Good Morning America for interviews. Pre-orders on her memoir, Unbecoming Mrs. Brown, sold out rapidly. In a single interview, she breathed softly. "A part of me died in that marriage, but now I'm a more alive version of myself than ever before." On being asked what women who were watching would want to know, Meri stared straight in front and responded, "You are not crazy. You are not excessive. True love does not ask you to be less than yourself, and your silence is never required for love. There is more to this tale. Losing a loved one is extremely hard. Few would dream of experiencing such sorrow on national TV. But the Sister Wives cast is performing valuable work spreading awareness about suicide while paying tribute to Garrison Brown. The most recent episode was centered around the funeral of Garrison in Wyoming. Despite perceptions about Kody and Janelle Brown, at that time, they were just parents trying to do their best to pay respects to their dear son. In a touching move, Kody decided to dig the grave himself upon coming home with Garrison's ashes. The 56-year-old found it a significant gesture. "The cemetery sexton, who does the digging, gave me a permit to do it myself," Kody said. "I don't know why, but it means a great deal to me." Kody's brothers, Tim and Scott, also came over, and they represented the tight-knit circle of men who had raised Garrison. "For this effort, since we're not digging a grave large enough for a coffin, I'm going to make it a little bigger than necessary for the urn," Kody said as cameras observed the moment. Kody expressed a heartfelt desire to fully experience the process of hard work as he humbly dug deep into the ground. When he finished, he sat quietly on Garrison's final resting place, watching the sunset. Overwhelmed with emotion, Kody wept, declaring, "I've never done something like this, excavating a grave. To me, this is one of the most important things I have ever done. This is my son's resting place. I'm just trying to do my best to honor him. I'm not even certain if it is honorable." Garrison's humble funeral was not only filled with love, but also had the majority of his 18 siblings, as well as Kody's 4 wives present. Logan Brown and Leon Brown, who hadn't been on the show for some time now, also made the journey. Kody and Janelle's oldest son stood by his mother's side, providing her with tissues whenever necessary. Kody's patriarchal grandmother was also present, lending a comforting shoulder. Garrison was interred in a hand-forged Viking ship-shaped urn at Penrose Cemetery, Byron, Wyoming, alongside other members of the family. Before the ceremony, the audience was advised through a title card that cameras were kept at a respectful distance during the burial in respect for the family's privacy. Speaking to the TLC cameras, Janelle confessed she was numb. "I didn't really have any feelings," she stated. Meri Brown, Kody's ex-wife, pondered, "It's just one of those things where you wonder, how did we get here? It's heartbreaking and depressing." Throughout the service, Janelle was occasionally resting her head on Meri's shoulder for support. Tim, Kody's brother-in-law, presided over the ceremony, sporting one of Garrison's Hawaiian shirts. Garrison wanted to start a small business called Bob's Floral, and it was going to be about Hawaiian shirts, Kody said. He continued, "The best thing that I learned from Garrison's life was that we always find ways to make fun of something." Tim, in his eulogy, stated, "We will always have comedy and humor in life. With the exception of a mother who has gone through this type of loss, none of us can ever truly know a mother's pain. Only a father who has gone through this will understand a father's remorse." As Kody and Janelle were about to lower the urn into the grave, Janelle said, "There's symbolism in me handing him to Kody." Janelle then handed their son's urn to Kody for his last positioning. Kody described a dream that had Garrison sitting on his bed. "It wasn't depressing," he said. "I said, 'Why are you away, boy?' And he said, 'I'm not. It isn't so bad here. Turn off your sad music. Hanging out with you is terrible, but I'm all right.'" A few of Garrison's brothers and sisters also made the trip to the tomb. Hunter Brown referred to Garrison as his roommate, while Peyton Brown laid down military dog tags upon the gravesite. "I had him as my bunkmate for my whole life," Peyton stated. During preparations for Garrison's memorial, Kody and Robin Brown spent one day with their children on the Brown family ranch in Wyoming, as viewed in the May 18th episode of Sister Wives. During some free time, the wives went horseback riding, and Robin was reminded of how first saw Kody ride a horse like that. In an interview, Robin stated, "I never would have imagined Kody was from a ranch when I first met him. He grew up on a ranch, but it doesn't show. He doesn't dress or sound like it." She reminisced with laughter. "Seeing him on horseback for the first time, I just said, 'Wow.'" Robin smiled and added, "He had never ridden a horse in his life, but he was so centered and confident. It was impressive." Although nearly too much information, Robin laughed and went on, "It's a lot of fun. It feels raw and real. It's just a delicious experience." As discussed above, we hope this quote did not make you too hungry and that you were able to complete your meal. Robin and Kody had gotten married in 2014, after Kody's formal divorce from Meri, his first wife. The court decision eventually enabled Kody to adopt Robin's children from a previous marriage and include them in his health insurance. Today, Robin is Kody's only surviving spouse, both legally and spiritually. Kody's marriages to his other wives, Meri, Christine, and Janelle, have been rocky over the years, with Christine and Janelle threatening to leave him on various occasions. Robin discussed these issues on April 20th's episode of Sister Wives, describing, "He was hard to deal with, and I had to tell him that sometimes he was a moody butthole." She was talking about how difficult it was for her and Kody after the other wives had left temporarily. Robin went on to say, "Kody and I have worked very hard to maintain our relationship in spite of the separations. He rationalized that my problems with him stemmed from the fact that he did not have other wives anymore." Robin said she wanted Kody to be kind and respectful, given the pressure such demands put on him. "What I fought was the way he treated me," she stated. "It looks like Kody is finally getting over that. Quite simply, I'm proud of us for having made it through." After the recent incidents, some Sister Wives fans blasted Kody and Robin's actions at Garrison Brown's funeral. Most of the outrage was directed at Kody's parenting style and how the two managed their bereavement. The audience felt that Kody and Robin's changed dynamics with their larger family didn't impress the viewer and led to controversy. One of the most talked about scenes had Robin and Kody sitting outside at their fire pit. Many perceived the scene in which Robin consoled Kody, after the latter regretted not having more time with Garrison, to be real. But some perceived the scene as staged or scripted. Viewers also pointed out earlier in the episode when Kody was walking around his garage workshop, which appeared out of place among the funeral activities. Fans also pointed to the huge portrait of Garrison hanging in Kody's garage, adjacent to his workbench. Most believed that the positioning was deliberate and artfully selected during editing. When Kody said that the portrait would forever be stuck in the garage, fans wondered why Garrison's picture was not hung more prominently at home, particularly since there was so much available space. Others even intimated Kody may be going back to the garage to escape his spiritual wife, but its real purpose has yet to be known. Additionally, some viewers considered some scenes of Kody and Robin's mourning as disconnected and out of context with the serious atmosphere of the memorial episodes. For example, scenes were seen where Kody was dealing with signs he had already sold to companies, an activity they felt did not relate to their grieving period. In context, Kody had sold signs years ago prior to the start of filming on Sister Wives, though he himself did not make these signs. The presence of these scenes made some viewers wonder about the editorial choices made during production for the episode. While Kody was in Wyoming burying Garrison, he decided to take his family out to see some signs he had sold. Others, however, perceived this as a move by Kody to increase his ego by flaunting these indicators on TV. Kody was actually not on this excursion in order to brag about his success. Witnesses added that his relatives visibly looked disconnected because he spent much time discussing the products he sold. The looks on Robin, Ari, Brianna, Solomon, and Aurora's faces unmistakably exhibited their boredom. Had it not been for the melancholy backdrop of Sister Wives, the scene could have been unwittingly comical, considering that Kody appeared to hold court while his family sat uninterested. There was another scene that left viewers uncomfortable when Robin said Garrison had been their special passenger on the trip to Wyoming. Kody was tasked with carrying Garrison's ashes for the burial rites, which he made sure to indicate. But some were skeptical as to whether Kody and Robin were trying to redefine the story around Garrison's death, based on reports that Garrison was supposedly excluded from visiting in their home while he was alive. To refer to his ashes as a special passenger seemed to many an unusual turn of phrase. Viewers also commented on how Robin's kids never said Garrison's name once throughout the show's coverage of his funeral. This was unlike Janelle and Christine's kids, who were very vocal about grieving and talked nonstop about how much they missed Garrison. Robin's kids, on the other hand, seemed to be on a vacation in Wyoming with their parents. Viewers commented on this difference and ignited some discussion among the fans. In particular, Michael, T, Maddie, and Gabriel, all of Janelle's and Christine's children, shared fond memories of their brother Garrison. Robin's children, however, including Aurora, Brianna, Solomon, and Ari, were more interested in studying the history of Buffalo Bill Kody when they visited the town of Kody, Wyoming, which was named after the legendary cowboy. Robin jokingly commented that Buffalo Bill and their dad, Kody Brown, had reputations as ladies' men, something that made Aurora and Brianna laugh. The one bright spot in an otherwise serious show. Although he had 4 wives at once, Kody glossed over his status as a women's man during dinner conversation at Garrison's memorial. Some viewers felt this was inappropriate for an episode that dealt so heavily with heavy themes. During the memorial activities, Kody issued some statements that were taken by the fans to mean attempts to boost his position in Garrison's life, including the claim of being the first to cradle his newborn son and the person who brought him home to be buried. Moreover, the fans noted that in some of the recent scenes, it seemed like some of them were footage shot more than 1 year prior. This produced a dissonant contrast between scenes of Kody's despair and others of him as a devoted husband and father, basking in carefree family moments, like playing with the children or having ice cream. Of course, people grieve differently, and perhaps this is just Kody and Robin's method of coping. However, it has been much debated among Sister Wives viewers whether or not the shows were staged. Some felt that the episodes felt manufactured, especially the way Robin coped with grief. While Kody clearly discussed his hurt, Robin's function seemed to be more about being there for him during the tough times. Fans often conjecture that Robin's remarks regarding Garrison are an effort to restore Kody's image in the public eye as a father. Forums online have been discussing these episodes, seeming more like they were scripted, where some have questioned if Kody had control over how his scenes were edited. While it is well known that reality television is not entirely candid, many viewers felt that the depiction of Kody and Robin's responses to Garrison's death was unnaturally contrived and, at times, unsettling. In addition, with a growingly negative fan reaction, Kody and Robin will perhaps need to find another strategy if they are to better their public image. Please leave your feedback in the comments section below, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel for further news such as this. Many thanks to all of our viewers for watching.